Hey folks, lyarri here. Today we're reacting to the weirdest houses on Zillow. Been a little bit since the last react, sorry about that, but we're back with Danny Gonzalez. He dropped a new video a few days ago. I really enjoy looking at houses. I looked for a place to rent like 6 months ago or something, maybe a little longer. And it was an experience. It's really interesting looking at all these sites. And especially when you start looking at the actual houses that you can't afford, like it gets crazy. I'm excited for this video. Let's go.
What's up, Greg? I've got a stand-up show coming up in Milwaukee at Pabst Theater. What's up, Greg? I've got a stand-up show coming up in Milwaukee at Pabst Theater on August 28th. If you want to get tickets, go to dannygonzalez.live or click the link in the description.
Wow.
I recommend getting those quick before they sell out.
Milwaukee?
Also, if you want to know when I'm coming to your city, sign up for my mailing list. You can scan this QR code or click the link in the description. You can also request your city, and that helps me decide where I should go next. And you'll even get early access to show tickets. So the people who are on the mailing list already knew about this Milwaukee show. Not to rub it in, but they've probably already got their tickets by now. So come on down to the Milwaukee show and I'll see you there. And if not, then sign up for the mailing list. And if not, then watch this video right now. What's up, Greg? One of my many guilty pleasures are tours of insane mansions on YouTube. You know those videos where they tour like $50 million mansions that all look like somebody tried to build a shopping mall in Minecraft? The guy giving the tour is some eccentric Willy Wonka type dude that somehow knows even less about the house than you do.
I don't even know if this is the original one or not. This is, I guess, a Pilates machine.
Sure.
And then you have that. I have one of those too. I don't know how it works, but I do have it.
A bench? You don't know how a bench works? But what I find so much
I
more
don't know
interesting are weird houses. There's communities all over the internet, like this subreddit Zillow Gone Wild, where people post houses where the owner has made the most objectively strange choices possible. A church converted into a home, a warehouse converted into a warehome, and a McMansion with mouth urinals. On one hand, I appreciate these homeowners like striving to do something different and not just hopping on the millennial gray train and making their houses look like heaven in Bruce Almighty. But when it finally comes time to sell your house, isn't it gonna be hard to find anybody else on the planet that wants to buy your $9 million castle in Texas? Especially when there's this perfectly good one in Indiana for a tenth of that. I never catch these swaggy home tour dudes going to houses like this, so I thought it would be fun to do a video where I do some house tours, but I go to wacky ones. To start, how would you and all your boys like to live in a 3,000 square foot house? 4 beds? 3 baths? Okay, well, there is one teeny tiny little catch.
Okay.
It is an abandoned grain elevator. And it is in the middle of nowhere. I mean, it's not completely abandoned from the pictures. It has been renovated on the inside. It looks like you don't need to be a kernel of corn to enjoy this place. Look at that. What used to be a grain elevator is now just a regular house with regular house stuff, like a living room, a kitchen, and that guy. So apparently for the past couple years, while the owner hasn't been living in this house and he's been trying to sell it, he's also had it on Airbnb. And it's weird because on Zillow, all of the pictures look super bright and airy. They make the space look very inviting. And then on Airbnb, all the pictures look like this.
Oh.
Why are they all at that angle? It makes the whole place look sinister as hell. Normal laundry room? Evil laundry room. I am really appreciating the creativity I'm seeing here. I'm more so just curious of why someone would choose to turn a grain elevator into a house. But I'm even more curious about what a grain elevator is.
Yeah. And how do they get zoned for housing? How does that mean?
Welcome,
like,
ladies and gentlemen, to the Grain Elevator House. This house has a lot of lore, a lot of interesting things about it. I'm very excited to take you inside to take a look. From the outside, this thing is an imposing structure. This area of Minnesota is very flat, and this building is extremely tall. You can see this thing from like 4 miles away. This was a functioning grain elevator before it was abandoned and then went into disrepair for years and then was transformed into a beautiful home. Over here is a big garage door where trucks used to come in and dump grain. So that's where the trucks would come on in. But hey, you're a person. Why don't you come this way? The first thing you see here is like a very normal kitchen. I mean, you can hardly even tell that this isn't a regular house when you're in this portion. Over here, they have a framed newspaper article about the guy who owns this place. So this is Scott. He gave us a tour of this house this morning and sort of gave us the lowdown and all the lore of this place. But basically, he bought this grain elevator when it was like completely abandoned in disrepair. He had 2 little boys at the time and wanted some place to live in. We asked him why he chose this place, and he said because he got divorced. And that pretty much answered every question we had about this whole place.
Yeah. It really does.
Over here is the main living area, and you can tell right away the scale of this place. Like, this area that we're in now is really big. It's tall. There's a balcony level up there, and this is like a very small portion of the actual grain elevator structure, which is crazy. So before this guy started fixing this place up, he said it was pretty much like totally in disrepair. There were like dead animals everywhere. It was like knee-high grain everywhere you could step. This is a slide from just like a regular park. You can see where kids have like scratched things into the slide. Like, it says Steve Hart's somebody, and then he scratched that out, and then it looks like he later came back and wrote Cindy instead. So I don't know what happened to Steve and his first love, but I hope that him and Cindy are still going strong from whenever this was written, which I can only assume was in the late 1920s. The winters here in Sabin, Minnesota are pretty brutal, and so one thing that the owner Scott said he does to keep himself busy is puzzles. So there's puzzles all along the wall here. Again, this bench, he said he got from an auction for like $5 from a restaurant. And then you've got some of Scott's literature, some of the stuff he likes reading, I guess sort of his inspiration for building some of this stuff. There is a climbing wall elsewhere in this house.
Very telling,
kind of interesting because there's a book here called Building Your Own Climbing Wall. Oh, he's got a feng shui guide, which no doubt helped him sort of formulate the space in here. Okay, this is a weird book. Building a straw bale house. I don't know why you would want to do that, but maybe this is his next project.
It's like the
Once
perfect
he's done with this
selection of
place,
books.
he's going to get to work on a straw bale house. There's this giant mural on the wall. So this is the first area that he said he worked on, because right when he bought this place, he wanted to have a place where he could live with his two boys. And so this like small area became their apartment. There's like a living room here, TV. There's a climbing wall going up the wall, which is pretty crazy. This is actually
honestly pretty cool.
So much harder than I thought it would be. Okay, out this door, we have
Let's hear like a kid.
The deck. Now,
that is still pretty hard.
Now, it's not a very big deck. This abandoned railroad track right here used to be where a train would pull up to deliver grain. It's not in use anymore, but the railroad company does still own it, and so they won't let him build over it. And so he built this much deck and then had to stop, and then I guess was like, yeah, I guess this is just the deck now. It's worth it to have this much deck. Okay, here we have a very interesting staircase.
True, honestly.
I was pretty confused the first time I saw this, but apparently it's designed to only like fit 1 footstep per stair. If you start on your left foot, dude, you're screwed. You're not gonna get very far. Watch. And then you're just stuck there forever. Now, you might be thinking, like, if you lived here, like, oh, I'd get used to those stairs eventually, but I don't know. These are kind of like, these are wild stairs, dude.
Yeah, they're...
I'm still like a little bit out of breath from climbing that climbing wall. Now, in case you're like me and had no idea what a grain elevator really looked like inside before this, let me show you this helpful diagram of how a grain elevator works. Grain is delivered and dumped into a pile right here. It is then brought to the top by what is essentially a conveyor belt covered with buckets. At the top, the grain is sorted by type and put into the appropriate grain bin. I think in this particular grain elevator, there's like 40 individual bins. And to give you an idea of scale, this whole living area is 1 grain bin. You may have noticed the walls in here kind of look like a log cabin. That's because big piles of grain create so much pressure on the walls of the bins that they're built by stacking 8-inch thick planks of wood on top of each other. You can see here in this doorway how thick the walls are. It's insane. But if they weren't built like this, the place would explode. If you think about how big this building is, this is an insane amount of wood. So this area is just like a cool little clubhouse, I guess, up here. Although the way it's outfitted right now does make it look a little bit depressing. There's just like one sad pad. This is one sad pad, dude. So I came up this way. You might think I have to go back down that way, but the labyrinth continues. I'm going that way. I'm going this way. This is just like a pretty regular bathroom, although I do think it's worth pointing out this painting of the Cat in the Hat. Don't know why that's there. This house has a crazy amount of beds,
really
too.
creepy.
There's a bed here, a bed there, and then down here, there's 2 little like under beds. They're just little caverns.
Oh. That's where Harry Potter lives.
And now we've looped our way all the way back around to the main area, but now we're up on the balcony level. Here's the slide, and then over here there's just like a cool hangout area, a TV, a bar. The cool thing about the underside of this bar is that this part was like an original piece of the grain elevator. This is like a map of all of the grain bins. It's just so interesting, like all of the details of this place. Like everything has like a little story, or there's something interesting about every piece in here. Anyway, I'm gonna go down that slide. Okay, here I go. Oh, Jesus, okay. That's the sound slides are supposed to make. Oh, also over here, there's windows, and this like area is not finished, and there's just like pigeons that live in there. If you look in there, there's just pigeons in there, dude. Cool. I think they like to be like right up in that window because they like to watch people go down the slide. And I'm not about to disappoint them. Woo!
I just like got a feeling that he would die during this or something. Like,
what did you guys think?
Was that in Naruto?
Hey, where'd they go?
That was... What the heck?
What did you guys think? Hey, where'd they go?
No. Seeing the run back is really helpful.
As you guys can probably tell so far, there was a decent amount of like research and coordinating with owners that went into this video, which is why I'm super happy I had today's sponsor, Opera, to help. Opera has a ton of features that make scouring the web for weird houses way easier. With tab islands, I can easily group my tabs by category, like Zillow listings, emails, Google
really
Docs.
useful.
You can create them just by dragging one tab on top of another. Then you can give it a custom name and a custom color. And if you don't want to be switching between tabs constantly, you can also just have multiple pages open at once in a split screen view. Look at this, I've got 4 different houses open at once, all in one window. Wow, that one looks crazy. I hope I go there later, foreshadowing. Sometimes having them all open at once like this is much easier than having to switch back and forth constantly. Now, we've all had the experience of getting sidetracked and forgetting which of your 1 million tabs you were just looking at. Well, Tab Traces shows you what tabs you were looking at most recently, marking them with a little underscore underneath, so you don't lose track in your sea of tabs. The darker the underscore, the more recently you visited the tab. Also, look at these cool animated themes. Ooh, very fun, very funky. You can easily dial in the color by dragging around this little circle. That way you can match the vibe that you specifically want. I really like this one called Metamorphic. It's available in dark and light mode, and it's just really satisfying to watch. The themes are one of my favorite parts of this browser. They just make the whole experience so much more fun. So click the link in the description to download Opera today. It's totally free. Thanks to Opera for sponsoring this video, and thank you to you guys for checking out Opera. That is pretty much like the whole finished area of the house that is accessible to the regular like Airbnb guest, but we've got a bit of exclusive access, so we can show you some of the behind the scenes areas that you know, if you wanted to buy this house, you would get the pleasure of fixing up. You've probably thought to yourself throughout this tour, like, wow, this place is so homey and livable. The wood walls make it feel like a log cabin. What do the unfinished areas look like? Surely not that creepy, right?
That is terrifying. I would not be able to go down there.
They're pretty fucking creepy. There's some scary parts about this, for sure. The fact that this door locks from this side, so if you get locked in that hallway, you're just in there forever. Well, I guess there is like a light at the end there. There is a door there, but the downside is that to walk there, you gotta walk down this creepy-ass hallway that is for sure booby-trapped. You would be riddled with arrows by the time you got over there. All right.
So you're gonna go
let's
down.
get out of here. I'm scared. Whoa, hey,
I wouldn't be able to.
I never post on YouTube again. This area is like just storage. There's not too much interesting that he told us about the house in here. But while we were in here, he did tell us that he got in a plane crash once, just in like a 6-seater Cessna plane, and like got a bunch of money because of it. So that's pretty cool. He didn't really elaborate much on it, but it sounded scary as hell. And this is a cool area where you can go on the roof. Check it out, I'm on the roof. So according to the owner, this used to all be one structure, like there used to be stuff in the middle right here, but at one point this whole thing started to sink into the ground because it was just too heavy, and so they had to like cut out a middle portion of it, and so that's why it's 2 distinct structures now. And he did say that although they prevented it from sinking any further, it is still leaning a ton, which you can tell if you look at a lot of the drone shots of this place. Now, being on this roof, like you feel pretty high up, but then you look up and realize like you're nowhere near the top of this grain elevator. This thing is massive, and like only a very small portion of it has been finished or like is livable at all. So you could see that as like, you know, so much wasted space or just so much potential. This area is sort of Scott's workshop. And this is, from the smell of it, where all the pigeons live. One of the reasons Scott is selling this is because he intended on turning this area into a cannabis dispensary, but his neighbors kind of shot his idea down. So the people who are considering buying this place are actually going to keep it an Airbnb, but then turn this unfinished area into an end-of-life care facility. So it's gonna be half Airbnb, half end-of-life care facility, which is an interesting business plan. Okay, let's go up these stairs. Okay, so in this room is something pretty cool. You can actually see all the way up to the very top of the grain bin. I mean, look at how huge that is. Imagine how much wood is in this building. Like if you just like chopped it all down. And then I believe I hear like 1,000 pigeons mating up there. Oh. Now, one cool thing about this house is that since it is an Airbnb, the owner offered to let us stay here at night, which means we get to see this place all lit up at night. And it is pretty cool with all the lights on, honestly. I am a little bit worried that like when I turn off the lights and it's dark and totally quiet in here, I'm just gonna notice how much I can hear the pigeons that live in this place. That's gonna be kind of disconcerting. The owner was telling us that sometimes he gets like negative reviews on Airbnb because of the pigeons, and he claps back at him. He'll be like, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know why I built this place. You don't know, I don't want the pigeons here. I don't really know if that's like that good of a clap back. He's like, you think I like pigeons? I fucking hate pigeons. I wish they would leave.
What's the
Rate me 5 stars. Well, anyway, there's like a million beds in this place, so I think I gotta pick which bed I'm gonna sleep in. There's a lot of unique options in this house, but something about this tiny little hole that leads to this like underneath cubby is really speaking to me. I feel like I'm very protected in there. There's a pretty low chance of a pigeon ending up in there. Yeah, I'm actually surrounded on 2 walls by the very sturdy 8-inch thick wood walls. So I don't think I'm gonna be hearing any pigeons through those. Yeah, I don't know, once you get over the claustrophobia of it all, it is just a cozy little nook, a little nook and cranny. It's more, I don't know, is this space more of a nook or a cranny? Guys, comment down below.
Like going from like a toddler
right now
to like a 16.
As I tucked myself in grain bin number 16, I couldn't help but think growing up here would feel like being in a Disney Channel show. This place is so whimsical.
That's real.
Like Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, but instead of a hotel, it's a grain elevator, and instead of Mr. Mosby, it's a pigeon.
I really wish there was a Disney Channel original movie set here. That would be so cool. Oh my god.
Well, guys, I did it. I slept one whole night in the grain elevator house. Honestly, I slept like a baby, and not even in the screaming, crying kind of way. It's weird how, to me, sleeping in a tiny little wooden cave of sorts seems cozy and pleasant. But when I sent a picture to Laura of where I was sleeping, she was like, that is my worst nightmare. So different strokes for different folks, I guess, you know, whatever elevates your grain. This place has a lot of quirks, you know, from the cavernous, unfinished areas to the pigeons. But I also got to admire the amount of creativity and like reuse of materials that went into this place. And you know what? This place is not really for a 30-year-old guy to judge. This was built by a divorced dad who wanted his sons to think he was cool. And I have to imagine they do. The UFO house. 8 beds, 8 baths, $1.5 million in Hurricane, Texas, which is right next to Zion National Park. This place is fully alien themed, as you can see. There's even a slide. This video is weirdly slide themed so far. The listing boasts a cryogenics bunk room, a flight deck, and even a full-scale flying saucer. Full scale according to who? Excuse me, what UFO did you measure to get that stat? It better be as big as the one from Independence Day, or I'm gonna fucking sue them. Look at this place though, like who would do this? Who would take a perfectly normal home and turn it into some kind of Airbnb? It's an Airbnb. It's because it's an Airbnb. I don't know if it was always an Airbnb. Like, I don't know if this was built to be an Airbnb or if it just is now. One confusing thing about this listing is that as you're going through it, it's like, ooh, look at all the cool UFO and alien themed stuff. And then all of a sudden it's a log cabin. It's just a picture of a log cabin that was taken on like the first iPhone ever. Is this what the outside looks like? But then you keep going and the inside is a log cabin too. What happened to the UFO place? They're like, no, it's always been a log cabin. I don't know what aliens you're talking about. You sound crazy. Obviously the presence
the
of
history.
Airbnbs in a town can drastically change the housing market, diminishing the housing supplies, making prices go up like crazy. And I can only imagine that insanely themed Airbnbs exacerbate this problem. Unless anyone watching this wants to buy this UFO home for their family, in which case, hell yeah.
I'm kind of down.
You're insane, dude. That's awesome.
Thanks.
If you guys saw my last video, you saw me make some very poor attempts at the Utah fad, dirty sodas. Most of them were disgusting, some of them curdled. I liked none of them. But because this house is in Dirty Soda's home state of Utah, I decided to come on down to Swig and have a professionally made one myself.
Oh.
And it's right here. This one is called the Texas Tab, and it is the exact one that I tried to make at home. It's Dr. Pepper, coconut cream, and vanilla. It does just kind of look like a
looks so yummy.
Creamy Dr. Pepper.
And he loves it. Oh, he loves it.
Fuck,
Geek.
that's really good.
Yeah.
That's crazy good. Wait, that's way better than the one I made at home. This is great news because I'm in Utah for 3 days. I'm gonna have 3 of these a day. There she blows. Area
I'm
51,
so jealous.
Home of a alien.
Oh.
So it turns out that this place is actually not just one building. There's this building, which is Area 51. It's the hangar where the UFO is. But there's actually 2 more buildings. That's why the listing had like a log cabin type place. So that is this building, which is labeled the Roswell Cabin. And then there's another building all the way in the back over here called the Atomic Love Shack. Now, it's pretty clear, like, what the theme of the Area 51 hangar is, and, like, I sort of get the Roswell cabin. Like, I guess it's, like, a cabin where a UFO sighting would happen. The Atomic Love Shack seems the least involved in all of this lore. All right, come on into the Atomic Love Shack. Pretty cool, huh? Yeah, this place just looks like a regular studio apartment. It is not themed at all, so I think we can move on to the next building. The least they could have done is like detonated a nuclear bomb in here, you know?
Like the cheap
just to help with the theme.
That's true, actually. It's a good idea.
Okay, now we're really starting to enter the themed areas. This is the Roswell Cabin. There's a little more UFO theming here. There's a giant picture of a house getting abducted by a UFO. And then if you look out that window, you might really be scared. You might think to yourself, oh my God! Oh my God, what the fuck? I know when I walked in here for the first time, I said far worse than that, let me tell you what.
Yeah.
For some reason in every bedroom, there's like a little diagram on the wall that appears to have giant arrows pointing to all of the exits in this room. And there's just arrows being like, okay, you can get out this way, this way, this way, this way. Maybe this is like where aliens can enter while you're asleep. It's like, just so you know, aliens can get in here, 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 here. And they're gonna touch you here, 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 here. You flip it over, that's the other diagram. They're gonna touch my butt! And abduct my house! What the fuck? Lots of little bear statues around here. I don't know if you saw the one in the front, but I really like this one because it kind of looks like he's going, ah! He just saw somebody get abducted by aliens. This area of Utah is really nice. It's pretty. This is Hurricane, Utah. Last night we stayed in St. George. We got Swig yesterday, as you guys saw. Today we got to see the sights a little bit more. We did hit up Swig 2 more times, which was awesome. As you come up to the door, there's some warning signs that there's something not quite right afoot here. You got your liquid methane, experimental mutantogen. Guys, these are all radioactive. Don't look at where it says pear puree concentrate. That's a joke. That's a joke that they play at Area 51. There is garbage in there. Oh, gross.
That's really funny.
Oh, gross garbage.
What the fuck?
Oh, man,
What is this stuff?
thought that was gonna be tasty liquid methane. On the door here is a sign that says Area 51, warning, restricted area, use of deadly force authorized. And the first time I opened this door, I actually did get shot in the face.
No way.
And this is where the fun really happens.
Toy
We've
Story
got a
aliens,
gigantic
so good.
UFO in here. Also, just look at like this space. This is like a legit hangar. So this is honestly like a really well-built, very detailed UFO thing. And when you come in here, well, kind of just a gamer room. You got there's an Xbox here. There's two TVs. We continue our space and an aeronautical theme here with just some airplane seats. It's a UFO, but they just got regular airline seats. And then if you open this door,
gaming seats.
you can actually
gaming
sleep
chairs
inside the UFO. So we got bunk beds over here. There's
really
Nerf guns
cool.
here, so you got like you and all your friends can shoot each other. This is a pretty regular bedroom. Oh, there is a sign in here with the entrances and exits as well. Don't know what this is for. Like you're in bed and you wake up in the middle of the night and you're like, I gotta get out of here!
Surely.
Okay! The theming is a little bit less strong in some of the regular bedrooms. I'm not really sure why they like stretch an image of a pilot over the headboard like that. We got two little aliens trapped in tubes right here. The owner didn't really say too much about these guys. He pretty much just said that this is filled with a gas that kind of tortures them. They don't really look like they're doing much, but they're in a severe amount of pain right now. Over here you got kind of
they've been tortured for a while,
hanging out space, large sectional. Got a big bean bag, which I haven't sat in yet. Let's see if it's comfy.
Okay.
It is! Yeah, this is nice. And this is the perfect spot, too, if you're watching a movie. That way you don't see any of the movie. This is what the American Gothic painting would look like if it was all messed up and fucked up and there were aliens in it instead of, like, a guy and a girl and if there was a UFO in the background and the farm was on fire.
Is this AI?
Because I've always wondered like what that would look like. These are more cool bunk beds. I feel like that's kind of a theme of this video is cool bunk beds.
Yeah.
I'm glad that all the Airbnb houses just have like little bunks, little tiny little claustrophobic places for me to sleep.
I need the slide.
And then this is like what it would look like if American Gothic was all fucked up. There's this like climbing area where you can climb up these crates and then go up into the tunnels. There's a tunnel system above this whole place. Dude, if I was a kid, if I came here on a trip, like if my family booked this as an Airbnb, this would be so cool. These tunnels, even as an adult, this is cool. The one thing I will say is that down there is a slide. I went down that earlier, and the first time I went down head first, and that is not a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, bro.
Do not go down the slide head first. I felt like one of those 2D images of like a cave diver.
That's
and
really
out back,
funny.
oh baby, you got a grill, you got chairs, and you got a pool.
No way. So cool.
All right, guys, you already know what time it is. It's time to show you where I'm gonna be sleeping tonight. I had a few interesting options, such as the cryo chamber bunk beds, just a tube up there. I could have just slept in a tube, but you already know, I can't stay here without sleeping in the UFO. The cool part about the UFO is I have this door that is sealed shut, so no one can get in and I can't get out no matter what. There's like a plug to plug your phone charger in right here, and then it just kind of like just kind of dangles over your face all night, so that's really nice. But once I figure out a solution for that, I think this is going to be really quite a cozy place to sleep.
Yeah. I'm so jealous. I wish I could go to Utah for 3 days.
All things considered, it was a pretty good night. I slept well in the bunk bed, and this is a pretty fun house, you know? It is not... It is not built for a family. As I woke up this morning and stepped my bare feet on the concrete floors, I did realize that this is not a home. This is a converted hangar that is meant to look like the inside of Area 51. This is not a place to lay your head every night. So I think that this is just gonna be an Airbnb for the rest of time. I am a little disappointed that we didn't even see any aliens though.
It does seem like Airbnb designed to be. Oh. Wow.
And now it's time
It did
for
seem
the
designed for
underground
Airbnb
house.
purposes.
What Zillow is calling one of America's most extraordinary residences. Not to be confused with this underground house, which is, not. Okay, this is 5 beds, 6 baths, 16,000 square feet for $5.9 million in Vegas.
Wow.
And it is an underground bunker. I was really excited that this place is letting me come visit them because I made a video about this place on my second channel. At the time, I thought that this retro look was an interesting choice, not realizing that this is not a choice. This place was just built in the 1970s. They were like, let's build the place and make it look like it's now. The original owner of this place, Jerry Henderson, was a billionaire and an executive at Avon. Yes, the pyramid scheme. Jerry may have been on top of a pyramid scheme, but when it come to living in a house, he liked for it to be underground. He and his wife, Mary, like fully lived in this underground bunker that sits 26 feet underground. It has a heated pool, fake trees, a cryo tank that can hold 4 bodies and 5 heads. This is actually kind of an interesting time for me to be going to this bunker though, because they are actually selling this place and the closing date is the day after I'm there. So who knows, after I film here, this place may disappear from the public eye forever. And so might I.
No
they might
way.
trap me in there, I don't know. Also, is there a big crack in the ceiling?
There's so much tension in this video.
And here we are at the mysterious 16,000 square foot bunker. It's right under our feet right now. On the outside, you'd probably never know there was something more than a normal house here, were it not for the gigantic gates, security cameras, and a bunch of air conditioning units that lead to nowhere. Also that weird-ass tree that's made of plaster. Were it not for all those things, this would look like a regular house. Originally, when this bunker was built in the 1970s, there was no house here. There were just 2 tunnels like this little one, and then an even bigger one where the main entrance is. These Flintstones-ass tunnels are what led down to the bunker. I guess the guy who built this, Jerry Henderson, actually did not want to live above ground at all. He just built the bunker and was like, no, I'm good. I don't need any natural light. The tunnels for me, please. All right, let's go inside.
That's insane.
Just kidding, that's not the main entrance. This is the main entrance. It used to look like a tunnel, and now it looks like a house. Let's go. And here we are in the $5 million bunker underground.
That's cool.
And what an amazing sight it is. The first thing you see when you come down the stairs is what looks like just a house. You go into a house and then you go downstairs and then you're in the basement and there's another house right here. You turn the corner and it looks like you're outside. Dude, the first time I came down here, I was like, am I really outside? I thought I went downstairs. What happened? Am I some kind of idiot? The entire perimeter of this underground home is decorated with murals of the outdoors, designed to make living away from the sun and the sky as bearable as possible. While the murals are nowhere close to photorealistic, they are impressively detailed. The artist who painted these actually lived down here for 2 years while she was working on them, and had her own little house in the back corner of the bunker. Each mural depicts a view from one of Jerry and his wife Mary's other estates, from Beverly Hills to Colorado and New Zealand. Obviously, it doesn't feel like you're outside when you're in here, but it definitely is a step above like a dark concrete bunker. So props to the mural artist for that. So when it's nuclear Armageddon, Jerry can wake up and look out the window and pretend he's still in his Beverly Hills home. He can pretend for just one brief little minute that Beverly Hills still exists, and it's not now Beverly Fire, Beverly Crater, Beverly Alien. Does it look like I'm really in LA right now?
I do think, like, the idea of, like, being able to, in the event of a nuclear apocalypse, like, reminisce on what life used to be is, this is a good idea. It works.
What if you just saw a nuclear missile just... Oh no, I wish I was in my bunker right now. It doesn't just stay daytime in here though, which is kind of cool. All of the lights in this place have different settings, so you can change it to be like sunset and nighttime. You've got the moon up there, you've got stars on the ceiling, and all of the little windows and streets are lit up with fluorescent paint that I can only assume is radioactive to the touch. Whoa, am I glowing?
Your teeth are glowing.
Wow. It's like I belong here. It's kind of a creepy vibe. That's the thing about this bunker is like when some of the lights are on and some of them are not, you turn the corner from this like majestic moonlit Beverly Hills scene and then you're just in a liminal space over here. But over here is a very special corner. This is the Christmas corner. Mary I guess, was like very enthusiastic about Christmas, and so she had this little nook built specifically for a Christmas tree. There's like a hole in the ground right here that a Christmas tree just fits into. And then there's light switches here for turning on and off the Christmas tree. So it's just meant to always be Christmas here. When everything else is gone, we still have Christmas. But that's enough about outside for now. Let's go inside the house.
That's
now,
so
the interesting
creepy.
thing about this house is that it's called an automatat, I think. Is that right? Automatat?
I think so.
Okay. The term automatat was coined by the architect of this place, J. Swayze, and stands for Atomic Habitat. He designed them during the Cold War for the wealthy elite who were scared of getting swept away by a nuclear blast. Key components of an automatat include separate indoor and outdoor looking areas, a light system that can change from day to night, and they were also meant to be able to act as a nuclear shelter if needed. He marketed these homes as peeping Tom-proof to people who I can only assume have never heard of curtains. He also marketed them as less expensive, which I don't believe. I don't believe that at all. Jay actually built Jerry's first automatat in Colorado before he built this one in Vegas. So come on in. Come on into my automatat. We can just speed this whole part up. Right off the bat, you can see there's like windows in every which direction that you can see out to different landscapes. The lighting is like very fluorescent, so I wouldn't really say it feels like it's like daytime out there. It's kind of like an alternate universe daytime. Now this is the famous kitchen that I saw in the second channel video. There's like some crazy stuff in here I didn't even know existed, such as this, which is a trash compactor. You put trash in there and it just scrunches it up real tiny. Apparently that was kind of like a thing in the 70s that really nice houses had. It might still be a thing, honestly, I don't know. Do you know?
I have a few of them, yeah.
You have a few?
I got a few of them,
Yeah, you make a lot of trash.
Yeah.
There is a built-in toaster. Actually, I lied. There's two built-in toasters. Come on.
Wow.
There's the other built-in toaster. Jerry was really into toast. The other thing I found out is that the FBI had like an office Christmas party here. That she was like listing things. She was like the Cirque du Soleil, Fallout, the FBI. What do people wear to like an FBI holiday party? I just picture them all like in suits with guns. This is a room that is made out of silk. It's the dining room.
Good question.
And it's made out of silk. All the walls are like soft to the touch. There's just cotton behind them. It's just a silk room. Come on with me. Jerry was a man who presumably liked to party, because there's a lot of party stuff around here. This bunker has a dance floor, a pool, and of course it's got a bar. Now, one thing you might notice is that this bar is very low, and that's because unfortunately Jerry was plagued by a lifelong condition that he had to deal with. He was 5'2", and apparently Mary was 4'11". So everything in this house is like kind of shorter than it's supposed to be, and that was just for their convenience. If you're gonna build a house underground, you got to make it your height. So they have one place where they feel kind of normal, kind of at home, even. They wanted a short house. Give us a house that's so short it's underground. Come on with me.
That's really funny, actually.
Down this hallway that we're in now is the living quarters. There is one bedroom over here. Now this is Jerry's bedroom. And then across the hallway, you have Mary's bedroom. Now, Mary and Jerry were married. So I'll just let you do the math on that. For how crazy everything else looks, this is a very standard looking bedroom. It's not even that 1970s looking. It's just kind of like, yeah, it's a bed. What'd you expect, dog? This is where I sleep. This is the bathroom. Again, pretty low sink. It probably looks like I'm like 7 feet tall standing next to this sink.
Really
this material here looks like marble, but it's like a fabricated marble. Jerry had this specially made so that he could like make it just how he wanted, and I guess he wanted like streaks of green all up in the marble, which is kind of an interesting choice. I feel like green as an accent color in a bathroom is kind of crazy, especially to just kind of make it look like it's stained all over the place. But the theme of the bathroom is green, as you can see over here. And there's definitely gonna have to be some blurring that happens in this video, because that is just a full naked picture of a woman. I don't think that's Mary. So you do the math on that. And again, in the tub, there's just like, he was like, give me the green stain treatment. That way, when I make my own green stains in the bath, you won't even be able to tell. The toilet used to be green, but apparently somebody who used to work here like stole it and sold it or something like that. So now it's just a regular toilet. Actually, even the drain has like green stains, but I can't tell if that's just like mildew or soap scum or whatever. Oop, it dripped. Who was taking a bath in here? Okay, and this is darling Mary's room.
Aww.
Nobody called her that, I just made that up, but It is a darling room. Very pink,
really
very
nice.
elegant. She has a beautiful view outside. So she could wake up in the morning and think, I'm so glad I'm not in bed with my husband and I'm looking out at this pool. Oh, the tour guide did give us a little bit of insight as to why they did not sleep in the same bedroom. Apparently, Jerry was a bit of a workaholic, so he would just get up and go to work at any time of the day. To the point where there's buildings across the street that Jerry worked at, and rumor has it that there is a tunnel that goes from this bunker to those buildings that has since been covered up, but Jerry used to just get out of bed and go in his underground tunnel to work. I don't really know what the purpose of that is. Like, he couldn't just go up and cross the street and get into his office. It's like he was like actively avoiding being above ground. One thing that I thought was interesting is I did kind of assume that this was purely a like bunker for the end times, and he had, you know, he's got properties everywhere else. He doesn't live here. He lives there and he comes here if shit hits the fan. But it turns out like he literally lived here. This was his main spot, his final residence. So he really liked living underground. Okay, over here we have Mary's bathroom. She had the same like fabricated marble, but she was like, I don't want green stains in my marble. I want real gold. So there's just like real flecks of gold in all of the marble, just all over the place. That way, when she makes her real stains of gold, no one will even be able to tell. The tub is pretty sick. There's like a light inside of it that you can see from outside of the tub. And then that pink toilet is actually sick. That, I think, is what the green toilet in Jerry's room would have looked like. There is a potted plant on it because they don't want people using it because it's broken, I think. So if you come here, do not use that toilet. Now, being that Mary was 5'11", the shower is very short. So if you can picture Mary must have been about this tall. So Jake, could you put your camera at like your eye level? Your eye level, Jake. Okay, so picture I'm Mary and I walk up to you.
Hey, I'm Mary. Down here. Do you want to come to my underground bunker?
So that's kind of what you were working with, if you ever came across Mary. Darling Mary. And then we've got the pool. There's a pool down here. Up there where it's purple, that's a hot tub. And then down a little bit, there's a cold plunge. And then there's a pool. It's a swimming pool. It's like a place where you like get in and you get all wet. Being down here and like hearing the sound of the water running is like 50% relaxing and 50% like I'm in a liminal space. It's like my eyes and my brain are fighting. My eyes are like, ooh, we're outside. And my brain is like, you're gonna die. Beverly Hills is gone. Now this is kind of sick. It's a working grill barbecue that is built into what looks like a rock. So when it's closed, it just looks like a giant fake rock. But when you open it, now it looks like a giant fake rock with a barbecue in it.
That's cool.
Okay, these railings are like a little bit rickety. I assume that these are original. And the reason I say that is because, well, take a look at where regular railings should be, and then take a look at where our poor boy Jerry put them.
It's really funny.
Here we have the dance floor. Jerry, I guess, was something of a party animal himself, so he installed this. Apparently, the disco ball was not installed by Jerry. That was installed more recently. And there's also inserts for stripper poles,
That's kind of ruined
which
the vibe.
Jerry did not add himself. Jerry was not into that kind of thing. It's kind of crazy to imagine all the feet that have danced on this floor, you know? All of Jerry's wealthy friends. Apparently Muhammad Ali used to come down here and party. The FBI. Getting absolutely nasty on this dance floor, dude. Oh yeah, and then there's the cryo chamber.
Yeah.
There's just a cryo chamber over there. The cryo tank confusingly has nothing to do with Jerry and was only recently added by the current owners, the Stasis Foundation. From what I can tell, they are an organization that is trying to figure out how to freeze people and bring them back to life. I'm not 100% sure because their website is super vague. And on the mobile version of it, it says they are currently seeking Don. But it sounds like they're looking for a place where they can freeze people and it'll be very secure. But on their website, it also says that the location they've chosen for that purpose is 800 acres of land in Texas, so I don't know why they have this bunker. One of the only things they've done to the bunker is put this cryo tank in it, which can't open because it opens on top and the ceiling is too low. So I don't really know why it's here, and I did ask, and it does in fact hold 5 heads and 4 bodies, so if you've got an extra head that you want to come with you to the year 3000, this is perfect. You could throw Walt Disney in there with you. This case has like some of the nice history of this bunker in it. We've got books written about Jerry Henderson himself. We've got pictures of
Okay.
Jerry and Mary. Look at that, at Christmas time. Or maybe it's not Christmas time. I've heard that Mary was somewhat of a Christmas nut. Could have just been any old day of the year. You come by and they're dressed like Santa Claus. And then over here,
You
this
think
is
they
stuff
sold
that the
Avon
current
here?
owners put in there. It's like a control board for a really old cryogenics thing, which I didn't even know existed before our tour guide told me that. She was like, this is from an old kind that doesn't even exist anymore. I was like, I didn't even know they existed now. But apparently this type of cryogenics thing involves some kind of ice water jacket that they would put on the person and then freeze it. And so there's a little dial on there that's like, turn on the ice water jacket. That's just my boy Tony. This chair's not original to the home, but I was told that it's very fun to spin on.
That looks fun. That looks incredibly fun.
It's very fun. I get up and immediately walk into this glass thing and shatter it. It's still a mystery to me why Jerry chose to live his last days underground. Some of it may have been due to fears of nuclear war, but it also just kind of seems like he really liked it. He owned a company called Underground World Homes. It really seems like he thought living underground was going to be the next big thing, and he was getting in under the ground floor. I also don't know why the current owners are selling the house. Maybe they finally found Don. To add to the mystery, the sale that was supposed to take place the day after we left ended up not going through. I can't quite put my finger on why, but it feels like all of these houses are connected. Anyway, I'm gonna go down that slide. Whee! Do not go down the slide head first. Oh yeah, and then there's the cryo chamber. There's just a cryo chamber over there. That's just my boy Tony. It's like the spirits of all these homes are working together to try to tell me something. But as far as I can tell, it's some incomprehensible bullshit like slide bunk bed cryopod pigeon. All right, well, thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're new here and you're not subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe and turn on my notifications to join Greg. Also, if you want to watch this video, I think you would really like it. So go ahead and check that out
at some point.
Goodbye.
That was a good video. I'm like happy. It was very long and like he went to 3 places in 45 minutes. It was really comprehensive. I'm like impressed. I feel like the first place you could tell was the most like, oh, this was like actually designed by a divorced dad and his kids. Like you could really see how the story influenced what the place would become. I felt like him going into the history and like going into all the like little personal touches of the places were really cool. The alien place seemed like the Area 51 place seemed a little unfinished with how it is, but still pretty cool. I don't know. I like all of this. That's all neat. Because I got divorced somehow explains nothing and explains everything. No, I feel like that explains like literally everything to me. Like, he's like, you're like in a funk, like you're feeling sad, listless, so you just put all your energy into something and you make your kids happy too. It's for, like, both, like, the dad and the kids. Yeah, Mima's been doing worse lately. We had to send her to the green elevator. That's crazy. I mean, I would go down a slide for many times. Danny's son's asking why he isn't coming home tonight, and Laura having to explain that he's sleeping in a green elevator. It is a business trip. Divorced dad court is... I don't think the other 2 houses scream divorced dad core as much. I think the 3rd house definitely screams a very, like, unique, eccentric, like, wealthy person's lifestyle. But, yeah. Whatever elevates your grain is a crazy line. I'm so happy he said that. First house does have character. Okay, I would not live there, though. I mean, end of life and Airbnb is crazy. Anyways. This is good. I think we'll read a few more comments. I haven't really like done much this video except for yap along to it. Yeah, like I wasn't expecting to actually go, and that was really good. Like, I'm happy about that. It makes like this is like hundreds of dollars of money spent on one video. I'm very thankful. I see. Maybe I should watch his second channel more. I never watched that. I haven't watched this. I haven't reacted to a single one because whenever like there's a video I might react to, I'm like, I can't watch this. What if I react to it? So annoying. Trapped underground with my spouse. I would want my own bedroom. Yeah, right? Like you need your own space. You could also like have your restroom or something, I guess. So not like a literal like bathroom, but like an actual like rec room, I guess. Like having your own rec rooms, but whatever. As you'd make on The Sims, and you don't know how to make houses on The Sims, so you just start doing that is real. A warehouse a warehouse converted into a warehome. That's a good line. Yeah, right? I feel like actually short people would love visiting that last house. I mean, I wanna try Swig now. But anyways, that was really good. I'm happy we watched that. Sorry for being a few days off, like off for a week pretty much. We should be back to our regularly scheduled videos, and I'll try to get back to the noon upload time. I need to build a buffer when I'm off work this week. But yeah, thank you for watching, folks. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Enjoy. Bye. Hey folks, thank you for watching the video. Remember to like on YouTube, follow on YouTube, subscribe on Twitch, and have a great rest of your day if you want. I guess I don't really like tell you what to do, but yeah, have a good one. Bye.